welcome to another episode of ABQ Sports Crew. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to this wonderful Sunday night. As you can tell, somebody is a little bit too happy with his victory today.
Was there a game today, Josh?
There was a game today, and it was the Denver Broncos going against the New York Jets. We'll get a little bit more into that here while our NFL talk. I am Joshua Carrillo here with Adam Nish. We are missing one of our guys here tonight doing some family stuff, so we want to, wish him well. And it's just so disgusting to look over to my right and.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday, Josh. Talk to me. Talk to me, buddy. How you doing?
Why are you sounding like Pennywise the Clown? I don't get it.
You know what? Let's talk, Josh. Let's talk.
Okay, let's talk about... we got lots to talk about today, Adam. We're going to go over some NFL stuff today. We had plenty to talk about in the NFL. Hey, we're also going to be talking Conor McGregor and his fight last night. We're also going to be talking about MLB playoffs. And
we might talk some Jets Broncos along the line somewhere. We might. We could. It's a possibility. We're going to get there, guys. We're excited to have you this week. Obviously,
this is what I had to deal with all day.
I'm a little All right, guys, bear with us. Say
something. Microphone. Are we back? Okay, we're good.
All right, guys, sorry about that.
Excuse our technical producer.
Hey, Sam Carnage out there watching. All right, guys, we had quite the game.
We had a horrible game.
Can I get that one more time? 34-16. I'm going to be honest with you, Josh. I'm a Jets fan. I had no idea this was coming. Nobody. If you said this was coming this week, you had no idea. Don't act like you did. Josh, how about you give your take, and then I'll tell you what really happened.
Well, should I start with... the game started out beautifully. Jets fumbled. Broncos picked it up, scored. Jets drive, miss a 38-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm. It looked like typical Jets football.
Even the announcers were saying that it was typical Jets football. But then all of a sudden, one lousy running back by the name of
Isaiah Crowell,
decided to take it 77 yards and score. Then, Case Keenum, who is #bum, #can't throw the football, #joke, can't get his offense to get going.
It's such a weird thing. What a difference a week can make. So you know how it was with the Jets. The Jets are a roller coaster. We've got a rookie quarterback. One week I'm saying I hate you till next week. You always hate your team till next week. Josh, the Broncos will be back, and chances are the Broncos are going to finish with a better record than the Jets. That's just realistic.
Let me finish, Anna. I'm on. You got your
rant
last week.
Oh, have at it.
The defense was on the field way too much. We were just exhausted, and playing Monday Night Football, we had to go against Patrick Mahomes, who just, it was embarrassing to watch. It was just, Brandon Roby got burned so many times. It was just, it was ridiculous to watch. And watching that offense not be able to score, and just watching Vance Joseph as a Denver Bronco head coach. The reason why everybody's wondering why I'm probably wearing a Ducks jersey instead of our ABQ Sports Crew, because I am done watching NFL Bronco football until Vance Joseph is fired.
Dude, you've got to get over that. I mean, come on. The Jets give up to the garbage Jacksonville Jaguars, by the way, which I've said this time and time again, and we'll get to their game because they didn't show up this week to play. They were garbage. The Jets got blown out by Jacksonville last week. The week before that, what happened? The Jets got blown out again. The Jets haven't had an offense. It's any given Sunday in the NFL. You've got to stick by your team.
I am sticking by my team. I'm a Bronco fan till I die, but it's hard to watch Vance Joseph coach that team. Adam,
it's hard to watch Todd Bowles coach the Jets.
Adam, come on, 5-11 last year. Okay, what the Broncos started 4-1 last year, and then just disappeared. And it's happening again this year. Starting 2-0, we beat good teams in the Seahawks and the Raiders. Well, I want to say this year. Well, now they're not any good, but 3 straight losses where we were winning, and we just blew it.
But here's the thing. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a breakdown of kind of what went down today because I made the mistake after the Lions game in week 1 thinking the Jets could be a playoff team. The Jets are there. The Jets are still not a good football team. I'll be the first to tell you that. We have a lot of holes. We don't have an offensive line. The offensive line kind of showed up today, but that's because you were spot on saying the Raiders I'm reading the comments. Dennis Sandoval, just talk about the Raiders. We'll get to the Raiders. No, the Denver Broncos quit. They quit. But I mean, hats off to Isaiah Crowell. The biggest difference today, if you go back to last week's show, you hear me go on a rant about the fact that the Jets had handcuffed Sam Darnold. This is a guy who's been accurate throwing way downfield. He makes those big plays. And finally, what do? They realize that they have Robbie Anderson, a speedster, and they let him loose. And then they hook up with Terrell Pryor there in the end. When you let that man throw the ball, and then everything balances out the run game after that. You have Isaiah Crowell going off for 216 yards. Powell goes off for 99 yards. It all comes together, and hopefully that gets through to Coach Bowles that that's the way this team functions. That gives the defense confidence, and it crushed Denver. They gave up coming out of the second half. After that first drive, I'll be honest, I've seen the Jets give up before, and it was a sad day for my franchise. The Broncos gave up today, Josh.
It was Von Miller just saying, you know what? If you're going to make me come out here and just play defense the whole entire game, why even give it all my got? Because it seemed like that. It seemed like, especially Monday Night Football, we weren't stopping Patrick Mahomes. Like, we stopped him in the first half, which was giving us energy, giving us boost. Everyone was like, oh, great, now Patrick Mahomes is human. We finally found his weakness. What does he do? He destroys us in the second half with his arm and with his legs. And we'll talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm going to apologize to all the Chiefs fans out there later. But
Josh,
watching Denver today was just ridiculously hard.
We had a bet.
We did have a bet.
Why don't you tell the folks at home some of the details about said bet? Granted, I made this bet when I was hyped about them Jets after week 1 demolishing the Lions, and then I realized we're not a good team, so I was petrified going into today. Josh, go ahead and break it down for me.
So next Sunday, I will be on Coors de Montano wearing a Jets jersey, Tebow jersey, by the way. I will be wearing a Tebow jersey on Coors de Montano, holding a sign that says, honk if the Broncos suck.
Honk! Them boys suck, Josh. Them boys suck bad today. So if you guys happen to be on Coors Montano and you have any spare tomatoes, be sure to cruise on by next Sunday. We'll probably do it around noon, somewhere in there. We'll get it on YouTube. We'll make sure we try to get a video up. Josh is a man of his word. He's going to follow through, and I'm expecting to get a lot of honks out there, guys.
See, it all started, Friday? When you were just bugging the heck out of me on our group chat. And I was threatening Adam. I said, I have 2 photos of you that I'm going to post. And he kept bugging. What happened? I posted those photos. We got a lot of reactions from those photos, by the way.
When I was young and afraid and just a poor young chap, just attached to his mother's hip and didn't know his way, I donned some Broncos apparel.
He was Tebowing.
He went way back.
That was 2 weeks ago?
You can't bring me down today, Josh. It's not going to happen.
Then I posted a video of a comedian posting about his football team. And
4th Street is saying what time again? We're probably going to do it around noon. How about we shoot for noon next Sunday? Sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
I'm good with that.
I'm a man of my word, so I'll hold on to the bet. You will see me in a Jets jersey holding it.
How can we get one of Jets Jets with the victory. We're going to move on, folks. You knew this was coming. Make sure you check out our Instagram and our Facebook page. Our producer, Julian, put together what can only be
the most
diagnosed. It's a masterpiece.
Butt-kissing video I have ever seen in my life.
You know what, Julian?
I want to ask you something. Would you have done that at the Broncos one?
I think you would have.
Yes.
Oh, whatever.
Man of his
word. Whatever. You said it before the show that you wanted the...
Hey, Jets from the Flabs. Thank you, Flabs. So, guys, make sure you check it out. Hop on Facebook or Instagram. We just uploaded that video. Julian did some great work. And it's just pure beauty. Like, if you know the part on the American Beauty where the bag's just blowing in the wind, that's the only way to describe it. It's just beautiful. It really is. It's just a pure masterpiece.
All right.
So, moving on.
We got other NFL games to talk about. Let's go down the list of what the scores were. Starting Thursday Night Football, the Patriots get the 38-24 victory over the Colts. The Panthers get a last-second field goal, 63 yards by Graham Gano to win 33-31.
That matches Elam's from back in the day, doesn't it?
No, it's the second longest. 63.5 by Brandon McManus.
Wow.
Or Matt Prater, excuse me.
Prater, right.
Prater with 33.5 yards. The Kansas City Chiefs proved that they are the best team probably in the NFL right now with a 30-14 win over Jacksonville. The Buffalo Bills squeaked by the Tennessee Titans 13-12. The Bengals 4-1 now, beating the Dolphins 27-17. The Steelers with a 41-17 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, Cleveland, overtime again.
Third time in 5 games.
Third time in 5 games they get the win over Baltimore Ravens 12-9.
Ravens fans, come on now.
Green Bay Packers struggled a little bit today as they lost 31-23 to the Detroit Lions. The Los Angeles Chargers destroying the Raiders today, 26-10.
Yeah, Raider Nation, where are you at? You guys are booty. I'm sorry, you're booty.
Arizona getting their first win of the season, a 28-18 win over San Francisco. Another last-minute field goal by the Los Angeles Rams as they defeat the Seattle Seahawks 33-31.
Barn burner.
Philly with almost a comeback victory as they barely lost by 2 points to the Minnesota Vikings, 23-21. And currently, as we speak, it's the Houston Texans 7 and the Dallas Cowboys 6. I think that's why Elijah's not here. He got mad last time the Cowboys were on Sunday Night Football because he couldn't watch the game.
You know, we host these Sunday nights, and they've been getting a lot of primetime on Sunday night. You never know. I love my boy Elijah. I'm pulling for the Cowboys tonight because that'd be awesome if only one of the crew had just a devastating, heartbreaking, annihilating week.
I had a horrible weekend with my teams. Man.
How about you break that down for a second before we get into these games?
It was a horrible weekend for all my teams.
Somebody reach out to Josh.
For some reason, first, let's start with, because Elijah's not here, so he can't dog me on this one, but Boise State goes at home and loses to San Diego State. I coach a flag football team. We got destroyed, 38-12. Then I have to watch this crap today. Called the Denver Broncos. The only one of my teams that actually did something this week is the jersey I'm wearing, and that's the Anaheim Ducks and the Lobos, the Lobo hockey team. We'll talk about that later, though.
I'm super depressed too, Josh. Can you tell? Super bummed.
If this wasn't a Bambi-friendly show, there would be Josh, a bird flying.
You know, Josh. I feel you. I'm on cloud 9 right now. The Jets wins are few and far between, so I got to be pumped. It's good to see the Lobos hockey team win. Josh and I are we do the color commentary during the games. Julian produces that. So it's cool to see those teams win. I've been there, Josh. I've had all of my teams lose. I did have the Rockies lose in the MLB playoffs. We've all been there. It's been a rough week for Josh. Somebody reach out and just give him a little pat on the back. give him some love. A virtual hug. I like it.
All right, but let's talk about some of those games today. Let's actually talk about the first one I want to talk
John
about.
Cornellis says, what a joke. The Chiefs are the best in the NFL right now. Absolutely they are. He's a big Patriots fan, but the Patriots, you've got to remember, you got beat up on by the Lions. You didn't lose to the Lions. You got annihilated by the Lions.
How can you call KC a joke?
Exactly.
They took out the best defense in
And what did they do
NFL.
today? They played defense. What have we been asking them to do all season? Play defense.
Now, since we're on that, let's talk about that game.
How about it?
We were going to talk about another game, but Patrick Mahomes showed he was human today.
How?
No touchdown passes.
He ran. Did you not see that run?
But Adam, remember, we were expecting this kid to break NFL records with touchdown passes today.
You're saying without Julian Edelman, he doesn't make or break a team. But no, so here's the thing with Patrick Mahomes. Yes, you're expecting touchdowns. You're expecting, and I get from a stats standpoint, but I almost respect that more because he did what it took to win the game. The Jacksonville's defense is actually pretty good. Their offense is a joke. Blake Bortles is a joke. We say it, the ups and downs. Blake Bortles is terrible. He showed a little bit of that today with a couple picks, a couple terrible, terrible plays. But what I liked that I saw today out of Kansas City Chiefs that scared the hell out of me if I'm a team in the AFC all trying to make it to the Super Bowl is that team showed up with some defense today. And that's something that they haven't had. They've been squeaking out these 30, 40-point wins. Today they played defense, Josh.
And they're looking good. I mean, as a Bronco fan, I got to apologize to the Chiefs fans because I said this team probably wasn't for real. They haven't faced real competition yet. They came back on us and smacked us around. Yeah. And Patrick Mahomes, that kid is going for real. But I'm worried about him because I've seen this before. Yeah. We've seen this with two quarterbacks before, both who wear number 7. Michael Vick was like this, and so was Colin Kaepernick. Well,
and you have John in the comments saying since 2007, Chiefs have started 5-0, 9-0, haven't won any playoffs.
I get that. That's understandable, but that's with an Alex Smith type team. The times that he was there. Patrick Mahomes.
Show me the ceiling on Patrick Mahomes.
He is just on a different world. The way, especially when Von Miller was after him the other day and he got tackled and threw it with his left hand. That is
unreal.
Just unreal.
It's kind of frightening at the same time. That's almost a Jake Plummer or Kyle Orton. Remember when Kyle Orton did that?
Yeah.
Terrible. But, he actually made it work. He's doing what it takes to win these games.
Patrick Mahomes is a young Drew Brees. The reason why I say that is because he finds different receivers.
You look at the Super Bowl champions. You look at teams like the Eagles last year. They pieced together with Ajayi. They pieced together with Alshon Jeffrey. You've got these tools outside of your quarterback play that can just make things happen. What do you have in Kansas City? You have Tyreek Hill. You have Kareem Hunt. You have these players that can step to the occasion, the cream of the crop that can rise up and beat anybody anytime.
I'm going to say it. They have the best tight end in football, and Travis Kelce.
Absolutely, right now.
Yeah.
Gronk's taken a huge dive off. Everything Patriots is disgusting anyways. But Gronkowski has fallen off of the planet.
Travis
he was the biggest competition. You have Olsen, who can't stay healthy for more than a week. And, who else is out there?
I think the closest one you got to say is Kyle Rudolph.
Ebron had a big week, but that's 1 week.
Kyle Rudolph is your probably the second that's doing good for his team. But Travis Kelce's just on another level right now. Another 100-yard receiving game. Remember last week the Broncos held him to almost nothing in the first half, and all of a sudden, exploded.
Yep.
It's Kansas City's for real. I'm going to admit it. Kansas City is for real. Now, like I said, how long does this?
John says you're drunk.
Oh, probably. I do have a big headache right now, but no, you just got to go with what you feel, and I feel Kansas City is going to be someone to mess with this year. Yes. Will they choke in the playoffs? We don't know. We're not even close to be talking about playoffs right now.
The only ones that perennially are going to choke in the playoffs are the Cincinnati Bengals. Beyond that, it's a crapshoot. Yeah. Anybody can be. If you make it, you can do anything.
Let's look at some other games today. Who would have thought the Lions would have jumped out to the lead they did today? Against Green Bay. Remember Elijah commented to us, I wonder what Rodgers' excuse
What's
is
your
this
excuse
week?
for Rodgers? I'm starting to, Elijah, if you're out there, I'm starting to feel you a little bit on that one. They did. In their defense, they had a heck of a comeback. They did make it a game in the end, and I still think Rodgers is the most talented quarterback beyond. Even Mahomes you might start arguing for, but I would say Rodgers is probably the most talented quarterback in the league active right now. But he wasn't enough today. What's going on in Green Bay?
I don't know. One thing is they need a running back. I don't think they have a good enough running game. They don't have anybody.
You can see them going after a Le'Veon Bell.
I can see them doing it. Why not? You got the talent. If you put Aaron Rodgers and Le'Veon Bell on the same team, that's a very deadly combination.
Well, but you did get reports that Le'Veon Bell, he wants to play. He wants to stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't think he's going to get either one of those wishes anytime soon. But about that game today, who are the Lions?
I don't know.
I think that's one of those cases where it's a division game. And so all the odds, everything is out the window. If you look at the way the Jets play the Patriots or the Broncos play the Raiders, you always play each other on an even keel. 9 times out of 10, it's a very even game. It says Packers have the cap space for Bell. It's very true. When you have these divisional games, you see each other twice every single year. Those coaches know the offensive coordinators, know the defensive coordinators. They know how to play each other. They know what to stack up against, and those are always good games. Honestly, this is more a case of Patricia and the Lions being more prepared for their opponent. And
they've taken out 2 of the best teams supposedly in this league, and New England Patriots.
No, Patriots are garbage.
And the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, give it to them. I mean, they're hanging in there. They're beating, losing to the poor teams, but it's just, I don't know. It's always been the Lions, though. The Lions can always beat the good teams and then show up and just disappear against the bad teams.
I mean, that's a bit of what we've seen out of the Jets so far this season, too, though. I mean, that they come out with a huge win and then lose.
Adam, you know who I'm starting to like a lot by just watching them? Today's game was a little rough, but they're entertaining to watch, and that's the Cleveland
Broncos?
Browns.
Oh.
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh.
Stop it.
The Cleveland Browns
should
are
be,
fun to
honestly,
watch.
they should be 5-0.
They should. They're a kicker short, and they were almost a kicker short today.
Did you see that that film?
Oh, my God. They were saying, I heard on the radio, it has a little yellow paint on it from squeaking through. The Cleveland Browns. So here's my takeaway. I'm still not a huge Baker Mayfield fan, and I'll get a boo, whatever. Everyone's all aboard the Baker bus. That's a good team. They added a lot of talent. You add Carlos Hyde. You add, Landry. You add a lot of talent to that team, and Baker hasn't done bad. But if you look at his first half, he was costing his team more than he was helping them, in my opinion. That defense has gotten worlds better.
Yeah,
worlds better.
They're deadly.
They're shutting teams down. And granted, I'm not a Flacco fan, as I've made it clear in the past, but that's a team that is a kicker away from being 5-0 right now. They're kind of scary for the future, especially in that division that's kind of been a bit of this.
Honestly, we talked about it last week, but I think the Browns really got screwed last week in a
they
couple of calls.
absolutely did.
They should have beaten the Raiders. Raiders should be 0-5 right now, but it's scary to say that the Cleveland Browns, the Broncos play them this year. I'm afraid they're going to beat us.
They're going to.
Yeah, it's scary to say, but they're a good team. They're getting it together. They're young, and that defense is becoming one of the best. I've been seeing them picked up in fantasy now. They're now owned in 87% of leagues.
What a difference a year makes. And honestly, I think the reason I think I find it sensational is that if you look at teams like the New York Giants, if you look at teams like the Browns, if you look at teams that were just garbage last year, what a difference a year can make. Mm-hmm. Are they going to go deep in the playoffs this year, make some noise? I don't think so. If they make the playoffs, it's a wild card. They've got a lot of work to do. I could still see them sneaking in a wild card. The odds are not in their favor. But honestly, it's testimony to grit, to sticking it through, and to making wise decisions in the offseason. People act like this team is garbage because they're garbage. Offseason doesn't matter. The draft doesn't matter. Free agency doesn't matter. Look what they have built. And if you look at that coach out there who is probably one of the most forgiven coaches, who goes 0-16 and keeps their job. Hats off to that organization for seeing what they had in him and continuing the head coach position.
That field goal kick. Everybody in Cleveland was holding their breath.
Almost tie number 2.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
All right, so what's going on in Philadelphia, Adam? The Super Bowl champs, they're 2-3.
I got to give a shout out.
That was a good game to watch. Anybody that watched that game, that was a heck of a performance, especially by Kirk Cousins, being sacked in the end zone and releasing the ball and finding Adam Thielen, who was monstrous today. Adam Thielen breaking another NFL record, 19 straight games with 100 receiving yards.
And how about some redemption for those boys like that? Yeah. You know they love that. I've got to give it to Elijah Esquivel. He said they're going to have that Super Bowl hangover, and they do. That's bottom line what it is. I think they're still finding their sync up with Alshon Jeffrey. You have Alshon Jeffrey coming back and trying to get that feel. The quarterback play just hasn't been. They're saying he's back. They're saying that that Carson Wentz is back to the old Carson Wentz. He's my twin brother. If anybody knows, I know. He's not back. He's not feeling it the way he has, and they haven't been able to get the run game really, really established. And that defense is not the defensive past. If you look back at the Eagles from last year, they they had a shutdown defense. They were putting up points on defense. I think it was like a third of their points for a quarter of the season was coming from their defense, and you're just not seeing that this season. So they're really having to refine their identity, and I think they're going to find it a bit too little and late.
The one thing I was worried about was Carson Wentz running the football today. Everybody in Philadelphia was holding his breath. The man does not slide.
No.
And he will do whatever it takes to get the first down. But we saw last year what happens when you don't slide.
Yeah. Or dive.
Yeah. He slid, but it was an ugly slide. And you could tell his knee got caught up a couple times. But Philadelphia, I mean, what's going on? I mean, you guys have the same players as last year pretty much. You didn't lose anybody.
Granted, look at the matchup. Minnesota is a good team.
Yeah.
They weren't just a flash in the pan. They are still a good team. Stephon Diggs is still a lightning receiver. You've added a better quarterback. I still don't say a great quarterback in Cousins, but a better quarterback. Yeah. That team is solid, and their defense played a lot better than they did last week against LA.
I think, you say Diggs is the playmaker in that team, but I still think it's Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, he's just a story. I'm a big fan. If I had to choose a jersey in the NFL, besides my own Broncos, I would get an Adam Thielen jersey. That kid is just amazing.
And they're saying in the comments about the Eagles' offensive line. I completely agree. That's what I'm saying. If you look, they haven't been able to get a Jai going. They haven't been able to get that running game established. And Wentz has no time. That offensive line hasn't been near what it has been. And trust me, as a Jets fan, I understand that because Sam Darnold is back there and chucking the ball right away. You're good, but in these big games, you can't always rely on that. If you look at the way Denver played last week, the O-line, honestly, I didn't think was playing that solid. But they were able to find those pockets, find those windows where they were able to make something happen. That it's a team that I don't see going that far. But keep in mind, don't take anything away from Minnesota. Minnesota's for real. Can they get by LA? I don't know. LA looked a bit more human today than they have in the past. But
Jared Goff, he struggled at times, but they got the 33-31 victory. And remember last year the Rams just went up to Seattle and murdered the Seahawks. This year, last minute field goal to win the game, But it makes you think, what's going on in the NFL, because you just never know what's going to happen.
This has been one
Honestly,
of the
would you wake
seasons.
up and say that the Titans would lose to the Buffalo Bills?
Well, and last week, what were we saying? I think the Titans might be for real. I think they might be really that good. They're beating the Eagles. And then the Bills show up. This has been one of the weirdest seasons, guys. I know you guys are seeing it too. But, as our crew versus the quarter that we'll get to, we'll show you, it is so hard to pick a winner right now unless you're rooting against Denver. It's pretty easy. But, for the most of the league and most of the games that we're playing, who knows? Any given Sunday, any team can show up and any team can win.
And currently right now, Elijah Esquivel's not having a good time because it is now 10-6.
It's still a game.
It's still a game, but
all of us. I'll be the first to say I drafted Deshaun Watson, and I'm getting murdered. I'm 1-3 in one of my fantasy leagues. I should be 2-3 in the other. But I'm struggling in fantasy. I did lose to my wife. I've been starting Deshaun Watson, thinking that he's back. He's not back. Deshaun's not. The Houston Texans are not there. They're just not there as a team. It's rough. I think John in the comments is actually beating up on me this week. Fantasy's tough. Picking a team is tough. Moving on to the next game. Who we got, Josh?
How about the 1-4 Oakland? Sorry. Hey,
whatever brings you joy
I can
this
have
week.
you. As long as Dallas and Oakland lose, I'm fine.
You lost to the Jets.
I lost to the Jets, but you lost to the Browns. Anyway, hey, also congratulations to the Browns. Their first Sunday win in 1,016 days. 1,016 days.
Dilly.
On their first win on a Sunday. But just remember, you gave them their first win in 600 and what?
Because we're a courteous sportsman-like team, Josh. God. All right. So how about them Raiders?
How about the Raiders? What's going on? What is going on with the Raiders? 26-10, the Chargers were just...
I would say that's $100 million for John Gruden. Well spent. Because that boy did so good in his career. Everybody saw this coming, John. Or John. Josh. So I got John in the comments. I got Josh here. I mixed them up.
That's like... No, I don't want to say it. This is a family-friendly show. I'm not going to say it. That's like... No. You want me to say it?
Don't say it.
Okay.
Anyways, The Raiders. Guys, the Raiders are garbage. When I was just out in San Francisco, I took a stroll down to Oakland just to check out that stadium. No wonder they want to leave. Who would want to play well there?
It's a porta potty.
The parking lot isn't even put together
It's
right.
a porta potty. It's literally...
It's terrible. Right outside of Oracle Arena. I mean, Oakland is terrible. And everybody saw when they signed Chucky to $100 million over 10 years. Yes, he has that Super Bowl, but besides that, he's never been a consistently winning coach. It was a terrible deal. He gets in there, and he's trying to work completely off emotion. This is old-fashioned. This is Al Davis, my way or the highway. Get Marquette King out of here. Get rid of Khalil Mack. If he's not a team player, we don't need him, even though he's better than our whole damn defense. I mean, come on, guys. It's your coach. You have a good team. I'll be the first to say the Oakland Raiders are not a bad football team right now. They should be one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL right now. You have Jordy Nelson. You have one of the best, and when we're talking tight ends, you have one of the best tight ends in the league. You have Cooper. You have, Carr is definitely, I saw on the hot seat. Possibly he could be in there. It's not his fault. That coach should be on the hot seat, and he should be refunding half that money.
Yeah, they should. And I'd be worried if I was Oakland Raider fans. You're returning back to your ways, and you have the club, you just don't have the coaching. And honestly, I thought Jack Del Rio was more of a threat than what they have now. And I'd be worried if I was Raider fans. You signed this guy to a 10-year deal.
But you're saying you might be saying it's first year. Trust the process.
No,
it'll get there, guys. I spent 5 years with Rex Ryan. Don't trust the process. Jump off that boat.
Chucky is old school football. He is 2002, 2003. Setting. You can't play that type of football.
Look at
today.
who's being successful in the NFL today. Look at the Rams coach. Yep. What's he like, 13? 30. Come on.
33
You've got
years
this
old.
young millennial. You've got to be able to speak to these millennials. You've got to be able to speak to this younger mentality. You get in there of, all right, go do up downs if you didn't. This mentality is just not there. You're not John Gruden. You're not John Madden. You're not Al Davis. Get with the program. You've got to speak to your players. You've got to pat them on the back. You've got to tell them they're good at what they do. You can call it soft. You can call it what you will. But at the end of the day, the teams that are doing it are 5-0.
Yeah. Well, Andy Reid has always been known as a good coach. I mean, no matter where he's at.
I don't know about always.
He's always had a successful years. I mean, how many years? We'll have to look into it, but how many years has he missed the playoffs?
I mean, Andy Reid's not bad. He's not bad by any means. He's no Vance Joseph. But I'm just saying it starts at the head, and you might be looking at the neck at this point and want to do some splitting. It's not going to happen. I mean, I can yell and scream all I want, and I've got your back, Raider Nation. I've seen how passionate y'all are, and I want what's best for you, especially because it drives Josh up a freaking wall whenever the Raiders win. But it's not going to happen with the coach you have right now, and you might be looking forward to next year and saying you'll build. Until he gets his act together or someone speaks some sense into John Gruden, that's a team going nowhere, and they're thrilled to death about it.
I don't understand. They have the threat. I mean,
Carr is the team.
Carr is a playoff type quarterback, but
John has a good point. Andrew Reid's young.
No, that's what I didn't say. But I'm just saying he's a good coach that he can lead that team.
I got you. He's
come on,
poking holes over here.
John's fired.
He's fired.
Get off YouTube. I'm joking.
All right, what do you got?
All right, now we got to move on.
And guys, we are going to get to Crew vs. Quarter. We're going to get to the UFC talk, MLB, all of that. We are going to be skipping the game time tonight just because we don't have Elijah here and we have a whole lot of sports to talk about. There's a lot of really cool content that we have planned for down the road. So we'll get to some of that. But what's next, Josh?
All right, so we are now on the Crew versus the Quarter. This week so far, Elijah and Adam are tied at 8-5. I am 7-6, and the coin is 6-7. So good job, Adam.
I mean, we're making headway. I did pick the Jets to beat the Broncos this week. I can't remember. You always pick the Jets because when you pick them, they lose. Did you pick them last week?
No, I didn't. I chose Denver. See,
so you might be onto something.
I jinxed myself.
You might be onto something.
All right, so the first game we're going to be talking about is Thursday Night Football. The Eagles go into the Meadowlands to face the Giants. Division rivalry game.
The Giants played like a different team today. If it wasn't for a 63-yard field goal, they come away with a win. And they showed a lot of heart.
They were down 17-3.
It took Odell Beckham Jr. throwing a touchdown for them to win.
Hey, he said he wanted to go deep. He went deep.
He went deep as the quarterback. And that's a team that has a whole lot of locker room issues right now with Odell talking about Eli, saying he was saying that he doesn't like always getting these short passes and having to make something happen. Sometimes he wants to go deep. Odell, Shut the hell up, man. Honestly, you're not playing like a team player. That stuff pisses me off. That is cancerous to the locker room. You want to know why T.O. was held out of the Hall of Fame for year after year after year after year? It's because people hated him, and people are going to hate you. People are going to tear up your jersey. You are not better than your team. You have a 53-man roster. You are not everything. Teams do this, and if you think you're always going to be on the rise, you got something else coming, bud. And for that reason, I'm going to take those Eagles Eagles this upcoming week. I feel like they're going to rebound, and they're going to beat up on those New York Giants.
Yeah. Coin is agreeing with you. You scared it, so it's going to... Preach it. Amen.
Hey, Jessica Brown has some of them hands like that. Hey. Right. What you got, Josh?
Next one.
Hey, are you going to make a pick?
Oh, yeah. Eagles.
He sneaks by. I think his picks come in a little late.
Eagles, I didn't see I saw enough today of the Giants, but I don't think they can continue it going on. Eli Manning's got to be replaced next year. I mean, it's definitely going to be.
Yeah, he hasn't been good.
No. Next one, the Chargers visiting Cleveland.
Good game again.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about these Cleveland Brown games is that they haven't had any that should be obvious one way or the other. They haven't played teams that are going to just smoke them or blow them out or they're supposed to blow out or anything like that.
Let's go Brownies!
You think they get the win? You think they go back-to-back?
Yep.
I don't know, man.
Go Brownies.
Give me why.
Reason why. They're at home. They play extremely well at home. Their defense is just... Stop Ben Roethlisberger at home. Yes, it was a rainy game. Stop Joe Flacco, who's been tearing the league up recently. And
Phillip Rivers is coming off a big win.
Can you call Oakland a big win?
I would say a big win because that's a divisional rival. I say every divisional game is a big win.
Cleveland. If you went to Cleveland on Sunday, that town is rocking. I guarantee it. When the Chargers, they want back-to-back wins. They want back-to-back wins, and they're going to get it. They're going to get the back-to-back
wins.
Josh,
Josh, I'm mixing you guys up. John, shut up in the comments. You're killing me, man.
What's he saying?
He's like, oh, really?
Oh, really, fool? Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay, Billy Madison.
You know what? You're wrong. The Browns do not get the win this upcoming week. I did pick Philadelphia to win the division before I saw how good Kansas City is, but I don't see Phillip Rivers losing this game. I feel like it's going to be a lot higher scoring game, but the Chargers get the win. I look like Broncos today. Just
you don't like. He doesn't like
home team.
He doesn't like the Browns because they beat his Jets. Still going with the Browns. Look at that.
So isn't there like a mathematical equation? It's like the Browns beat the Jets and the Jets beat the Broncos. So
shut up. All right. So the next game is Carolina going to Washington to face the Redskins.
After Carolina's performance today, I've got to stick with them. I don't like that team still. I don't see them going anywhere. I'm not a Cam Newton fan, but they played a good game today and they've got a lot of momentum. And Washington, I just don't see as having the
Heads is the home team, so...
I'm teaching him. He's coming around.
No, they're going for the Redskins.
No, I'm saying you.
Oh, yeah.
You're learning just the guru-ness about me.
Guru-ness. More like luck.
All right, let's see. Who we got next?
All right.
We're on a roll now.
Seattle at Oakland. I am taking Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Obviously. I think we could pass on this one. Oakland, get your act together. Man, this ring's getting heavy here. This ring...
It's funny. He found that in the quarter machine at Walmart the other day.
You just got to break it out on those big win weeks.
It's funny because you can ask Adam this all the time. If he was alive, when the last time the Jets won a Super Bowl, just look at his face.
You're not going to make me frown. We got a 34-point victory today. Who's next?
Okay, let's count. Let's do
34.
ABQ Sports Crew math, ladies and gentlemen. 34-16. That's a 34-point victory.
You know what's
no wonder Albuquerque Public Schools
Josh will be standing on the corner of Coors and Montano for 30 minutes. Oh, that's almost a minute for every point the Jets dropped on his Broncos today.
Shut up.
Hey!
Why are you adding those stupid sounds?
Oh, I love it. Boom.
So the coin is taking the home team. They're taking the Oakland Raiders.
That coin is on crack.
All right, next one is the Buffalo Bills going to Houston to take on the Texans.
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about that sound effect. The Bills and the Texans.
Why'd you play that?
Bills and the Texans. I would say Texans. I like the Texans are starting to figure out their offense a little bit, as you see from last week, and it seems like they're sticking with Dallas fairly decent this week. And the Bills are just still not a good team. They're figuring it out with a young quarterback. So Bills take the L.
This one's tough because both teams. You don't know who the Bills are going to be each week. Like,
yeah, they suck. I'm sorry, like Bills backers, I love you. You were the greatest family ever. That was a good time out there.
Just remember, November 11th, we will be back at the Duke City Sports Bar and Grill.
Did you not see the Bills team that played the Packers after the Packers got blown out
But
today?
did you not see the Bills team that just shocked the world and upset the Vikings? Like,
they shocked the world on a team that completely gave up with the Vikings, and then today they beat the Titans, which honestly we still don't know who the Titans are. I'm not saying
I'm going for the Bills, but I'm just saying you just don't know which one's going to show up. This is so hard about picking this stupid crew versus a quarter because you just don't know which team's going to show up each week.
I do. No, I'm playing. I don't have a good enough record to talk that big.
All right, so the coin is taking the away team in Buffalo. I'm going to take Houston.
Okay.
All right, so the next one, Tampa Bay, back from their bye week. They're going to Atlanta to face the Falcons.
It's a garbage game. Falcons are garbage this year. Falcons are really bad. I mean, if you look at the way that they played Pittsburgh today, it was just a bad team. They lost 17-41 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Tampa Bay, if Jameis Winston is playing, what did he do? Let's eat a W. One of the weirdest pep talks I've ever seen in my entire life. What was that? Eat a W. Like, that's the weirdest thing. I'm just saying, Jameis, don't do that. He's just a weird dude. Like, I would say if I have to give it to somebody, Atlanta, but not by much, maybe by a point or two.
I'm going the ATL as well because I think the Falcons are a better home team than they are away team. If this was in Tampa Bay, I'd probably be taking the Buccaneers, but I think Matt Ryan recovers from this week's blowout and he takes it out on.
But who knows in the NFL this season? Yeah. It's so crazy. Go ahead. And the coin
takes the away team. It's taking Tampa Bay.
Who knows? We might see the Amish rifle break out and go for 500 yards again. Fantasy sleeper.
This one's going to be a good game. Division rivalry game. Pittsburgh Steelers going against Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a good game. That might be the game of the week right there because honestly, this is going to have playoff implications. This is going to have divisional implications on who's going to take that division because it's a toss-up between those two teams right now. Cincinnati with a huge comeback today on the Dolphins. They were down 17-0 at one point, and Cincinnati just wills their way back. The interception, the defense finally started to step up. You have Vontaze Burfict back in, one of the dirtiest players in the NFL, but talented at the same time. You have Mixon healthy and coming back and stepping into, and then Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh scares me because if you look at a lot of the way that Ben Roethlisberger scored today, he was throwing up prayers to Antonio Brown, just lobbing them up. One of them he lobbed up and from 20 yards out, and it was one of the dumbest interceptions you've ever seen. But they were able to come away with a big win today. I'm
taking Cincinnati. I have to. They're at home.
You know what?
They're at home. I think they play extremely well at home. I think Andy Dalton's got that team figured out in Cincinnati.
The reason I'm going to go with Pittsburgh,
okay,
and we're going to split here. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, and the reason I'm going to go with them is because I think Cincinnati doesn't know how to start a game. They've come back and they've played well throughout the end of games. If they let up 14 points to start this game out, 10 to 17 points like they did today, they're not going to come back on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't have a great defense, but they're smart enough and they're able to put up more points on offense.
The coin agrees with you, Adam.
And let us know in the comments who you have winning each week.
All right, so the next one is Arizona going to Minnesota. Should we even discuss this?
Arizona had a big win today.
Against the Niners?
That's true. Minnesota gets the win, guys. That's pretty much. I mean, you say that, but Minnesota lost to the Bills. Which Minnesota team shows up?
Well, the coin likes Arizona, so...
I don't know. The coin might have the shocker of the week.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 straight road teams. The coin likes...
Is
the coin up to something?
It's been a weird NFL season so far.
Next one. Andrew Luck and the Colts.
John says Vikings in that game.
Andrew Luck and the Colts going against Butthead's team over here.
Why not? You know I'm going with the Jets. I mean...
You know what? So am I. I'm going with
Why
the
you gotta go with the Jets? Every time he goes with the Jets lose. The reason I'll go with the Jets, and I'll give you a few pointers why they win. I feel like they found a few of the keys to success. It's going to come down to that coaching staff. Are they just going to go with the deep passes and then try to come back to the run? Or are they going to come out balanced? That's not a healthy Andrew Luck Colts team playing right now. The Jets, if they play the way they did today and they are in MetLife, they could come away with back-to-back wins.
Coin's taking the Jets, Adam.
That's a sweep.
Every time that the Coin and I have taken the Jets. Anyway. Chicago returns from their bye week as they face the Miami Dolphins down in Miami.
John said the Jets won today, and now they're taking the AFC division. Weirder things have happened.
Chicago Bears at Miami Dolphins.
I'm going to go Chicago.
You have to go Chicago.
I think you have to. They're coming off a 45-point win. Or like 45-10 last week. I've told you since week one, I'm a Mitch Trubisky fan. I think he's a great quarterback. And Dolphins, I think they fooled the world with that 3-0 start. I really do. I don't think they're near as good.
The coin doesn't believe us. It's taking Miami.
It's taking Miami? I mean, I don't believe that the
I'm
Dolphins
with you,
are that
our
good.
boy Jordan out there. I know you're watching.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, the Bears are going to get a victory this week.
The next one, the LA Rams go to the Mile High City to take on the Broncos. I'm going to try the Carrillo maneuver here. This is called the Carrillo maneuver. I'm taking the St. Louis Rams. The Los Angeles Rams. Gosh, my head hurts.
He's making excuses for why he's like, you
wanted
to pick your own team.
I'm a very superstitious guy. I'm going to see if this works. Adam, what would you... No.
No. The Broncos suck.
Shut up. Let me tell you. For some reason, every time I take Denver in the coin toss, like, they lose. So I'm going to see if this actually works. What would you do? You look like my old grandpa sitting on his chair with this big old 1970s ring on his finger.
Look, even John's laughing. Broncos?
I'm not taking the... Look, listen.
I mean,
Linda, listen. All right? Every time this worked. How many times has this worked? Every time I've taken Dallas on the crew versus the corner, Dallas has lost. Every time I've taken the Jets have lost. Maybe let's try something different now. Let's see if this actually works. And if it does...
And in all honesty, because we value our integrity as ABQ Sports Crew, Josh has no faith in his team this week, and he's taking the Rams.
Yes, pretty much.
Hey!
This isn't Party Horn Sunday over here.
I love it.
All right, so Adam, we already know you're going with the Rams.
How'd you know?
I'm not stupid. All right, even the coin is going with the Rams. Screw you, coin. All right.
You picked the Rams!
Because I'm trying the Carrillo maneuver. I'm going to see if it works.
The Carrillo maneuver. So you're going to name your own maneuver after picking against your own team because they suck.
Yeah.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Let's see if it works out, bro. And if it does, what would you do? Look at me and you go, you know what? I'm going to try the Carrillo maneuver too.
I'll tell you what. We'll make another bet for next week about if the Broncos beat the Los Angeles Rams.
All right, we got to move on. We got to move on. We got lots to talk about. Jaguars at the Cowboys. I'm going to try Carrillo maneuver once again. I'm taking Dallas.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I still don't think the Cowboys are a good team. I think they need to find a new head coach. As a lot of Cowboys fans will tell you, that Jason Garrett's he's overstayed his welcome. And Jaguars their defense is going to win that game for them. Not Blake Bortles, but the Jaguars defense.
All right, Ravens at the Titans.
Ravens at the
This one's going to be a good one. We'll see which team is actually for real.
I keep wanting to say Ravens. I really want to say Ravens, but Titans every single time I've picked against them. I mean, they've shown me that they can play well. It's Ravens at the Titans. I'm going to go Titans. I keep picking against them, and they keep making me look foolish, and I'm not a Joe Flacco believer.
I'm going with the Titans as well. Let's see.
John said Bortles and Flacco are elite. No, they're not, John.
So the coin is taking the Ravens. This is going to be a good one. Next Sunday night. This one's going to be the game to watch. We'll probably have to have it up here.
Not the Broncos Rams?
Shut up.
Okay.
We're going to probably have to have it on the TV. And it's going to be Kansas City at New England. Kansas City at New England on Sunday Night Football.
Why? Why do you think that's going to be the game of the week? Patriots are not the Patriots of old. Yes, they beat up on the garbage-ass Dolphins.
Because, listen, Linda, the Patriots do not lose at home.
Except for against Kansas City last year.
Did they lose? They did.
They lost opening week against
Okay, but how many times have
John
you...
says Patriots, baby. Obviously, he's picking the Patriots. The Patriots are going to get smashed by Kansas City. They are absolutely going to get smashed.
Did we just high-five each other?
Heck
Do we
yeah.
just become best friends?
I mean, against Patriots all day. This is a Patriots-free zone, guys. I mean, you should expect it. Tom Brady is, you know what? If you guys want to do yourselves a favor, go online and look up Tom Brady's short passes from last week. There's a YouTube video out that's saying, oh my God, he's so good. And he throws a 2-yard pass. Oh my God, he's so good.
And the receivers are the ones making it look...
Yeah, he throws 3 yards and the receiver takes off. This is the story of Brady's career. Yeah, he had that deep one to Gordon, but guess what? That deep throw he threw to Gordon was double covered and Gordon had to come back and make the play for him. Brady's done. Edelman isn't going to make that team stand out. And the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win by double digits.
Hallelujah.
In Foxborough.
Preach it, preacher. Patrick Mahomes is for real. He's the new sheriff in town. He's going to show Tom Brady how it's done.
I'm waiting for a reply here because we know John is the big Patriots fan out there.
John,
in fact, he's been a Patriots fan since Brady won a Super Bowl. So let's see. Tom Brady has been doing that his whole life. I mean, 41 years old and the MVP last year. That's cute. That's because Goodell
year.
And the whole NFL is wrapped around that Patriots finger.
That's last year. Why do they call it the past, Adam? Because it stays behind. No one ever wants to talk about it.
That's a really weird way to put it.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's exactly why they call it the past, Josh.
I have a concussion.
I think it's just because it's the past.
Because no one cares about it anymore.
I wanted to back you up on that one. It was just dumb.
As much as my head hurts. I got hit with a car door today.
Okay, so we're picking the Chiefs. How about the quarter? Pick the Patriots.
Yep. All right, starting next Monday night, pull out your blankets and get your pillows ready because it's going to be a snooze fest as the San Francisco 49ers head to Green Bay.
No, how's that? I mean, that's not really a snooze fest because either team could win that game.
CJ Beathard is going to beat Aaron Rodgers.
He actually looked decent. Aaron Rodgers? Aaron who? He didn't play. I mean, Aaron was garbage all day today. I'm not saying, no, I am going to pick the Packers. I'm going to pick the Packers, but it's not going to be a snooze fest.
Raise your hand if you're watching Monday Night Football next week.
Why wouldn't you? What else are you doing on a Monday night?
I got to coach my own team. Hey, the Anaheim,
how's that going?
The Anaheim Ducks will play next Monday.
That was mean. That was real.
Let me restart the camera here. That was weird.
I did a BRB on there. Oh, we're getting low parts. Overheat or something?
No, it was just my computer. Hold on. Almost.
Yeah. What an idiot.
That's my cousin.
I know.
Just getting the camera worked out, and
But there was something that happened yesterday that I want to talk about, and it was huge around everybody that was at the sports world, and that was the UFC fight last night.
Mm-hmm.
Conor McGregor went down against a guy's name I can't even pronounce.
Khabib.
Khabib.
Actually, I was saying it's Habib.
Habib.
More like Habib.
All right. So after the fight, Conor McGregor lost in the 4th round to submission. After the fight, Khabib, right, is how you say his name, jumped over the octagon and went straight for Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach.
So far, much farther back than that. And here's my takeaway. It all started on Just That Bad Blood, which sometimes you wonder, is it just to hype up the show? Is it just to get more views? But no, this was personal. And then Habib, after the fight, he's going after his trainer. People are talking about his religion, about his family, all of that. Jumps out, and then members of Habib's team jump into the octagon and cold caught Conor McGregor, punching him. 2 of them were arrested. My takeaway from that is that there is no room, and I mean absolutely no room in professional sports.
But no,
so I mean, guys, there's no room.
This is just uncalled for. I mean, you got to think though.
They're
The reason
withholding.
it's hard for me to watch UFC because it's starting.
Really made this sport what it is and put in the time and the effort, they'd be ashamed. They'd be absolutely ashamed by what happened the other night. And if they're going to withhold the check from Khabib out of there and suspend them both and send a clear message.
Dana White does not care what Conor McGregor does. We just saw it with the bus incident yesterday. They wanted to see him lose.
Well,
He's the moneymaker. They're not going to.
You kind of had to be pulling for him a little bit. I like Conor McGregor because, honestly, I love the trash talk. I love the way he carries himself. It's kind of funny. It's kind of cool. Is it arrogant? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, when the words stop and the extracurricular activity outside in the crowd, people jumping in, throwing punches, that's not a sport anymore. That's a melee, that's a riot, and it's not sports. That's where you draw the line, and that's where both of these competitors, high-end competitors, kick them out. Both of them.
The thing is, they won't. You won't.
No, I mean, they've already made it clear that Conor McGregor is going to be just fine. They've made it clear that Khabib very well could be stripped of his belt, probably suspended, and they're holding on to a $2 million check that he's due.
And that's just how much imagine he gets from pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean we're talking tens of millions of dollars, and at this point you got to figure it's becoming boxing. Conor McGregor isn't chasing belts anymore; he's chasing checks.
Yeah, he's the Floyd Mayweather of the UFC.
I mean, no, Floyd Mayweather.
He'll win. He wins, but Conor McGregor is all about the money now. He got a taste of it. Now he just wants nothing more than just to have it. And you know what? This is going to set. This is what I'm thinking. It's setting up part 2 of this fight.
I don't think it should. I think Conor McGregor needs, if they're going to just let them continue fight, he needs to go through Ferguson. He needs to go through and show that he is a dominant fighter in the UFC before he gets another title fight, because it's just not fair. I don't care if you're a moneymaker or not. You've lost, if you include boxing, 3 of your last 5 fights. If you don't lose 3 of your last 5 and instantly get another title shot, that's not fair. It doesn't create competition within the league, and it's just an atrocity at this point. It's not what we want to see when we're paying the big money for these fights.
Yeah, we'll discuss it more. Elijah's really into UFC, so we'll get his take next week on what he thinks about this, because there's other sports that are going on with some playoff races right now, and that's Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Right now, the Dodgers are killing it. The Brewers are killing it. I mean, that's probably going to be your NLCS.
Rockies are getting killed.
Yeah, that's probably going to be your NLCS matchup, the Brewers and the Dodgers. AL, though, the Yankees and the Red Sox.
How about that? I mean, how long has it been since you've seen that? That's such a cool series.
I think it's the first time they met since 2004 in the playoffs. So.
I have so many of my friends. Chris, who was a guest on the show, is a huge Red Sox fan. And then I've got friends who are Yankees fans, and just watching that animosity. And one thing that is interesting, they were saying back in the day, these teams wouldn't hug. They would. Man, it started raining out there. Jeez. These teams wouldn't hug after the game. They'd be throwing punches. So it's definitely a different atmosphere at this point. But it's good baseball.
It is, and it's very entertaining. I mean, and then you also have the Indians who are taking on the.
Just as when does New Mexico play in the MLB playoffs? Hey, shut up!
Did you say New Mexico? Really?
Yeah, New Mexico. Get out of here with that. But guys, I think that kind of brings us to our final headlines.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adam. I want to say mine for last.
You know what? I know Josh will have some. My big thing, guys, is last week I went on a bit of a spiel about sticking with your teams, ups and downs, rooting for them. Today felt nice. Today felt good.
How did I know?
And I just want to remind you all that on Sunday, 12 o'clock, make sure you swing by Coors and Montano. You might see a Joshua Carrillo in a Jets jersey with a sign. You might have to honk at him. You might have to throw a tomato or two. Give him a gesture.
Is that really your final headline?
It's absolutely my final headline.
You had nothing else to talk about?
We want to throw some information out here. The people need to know, Josh. We'll be sending out reminders.
The people need to know.
Make sure you check out that video that we have on our Facebook and Instagram, too. It's a good one. And that's all for me.
All right, so I got 2 things, both of them hockey related. First of all, congratulations to the University of New Mexico hockey team. Make sure to follow us on our sister station, the Lobo Hockey Network, as next week they're going against a 20-year-old rival in Texas Tech. The Red Raiders are coming to Albuquerque.
Hey, watch for some customized merchandise as well.
There you go. So let's talk about Friday. They went into Colorado Springs. They were down early. They were down 4-1, and the Lobos came back and got the victory 6-5. And then last night, they were up 3-0. Let the Mountain Lions come back, tied at 3 with 8 seconds left. Jared Ronquillo puts in the game-winning goal, and the Lobos get the sweep over the weekend. I wish we could have been there for that. I mean, there were so many people that were asking us to be there, but budget's tight and funding, has...
We'll get out some away games, guys.
We'll get out there, but it was just an amazing feeling to hear the coaches, just seeing those guys party it up. They were so happy over the weekend, and just to see them get that mojo back that they needed, especially going into a huge game. 2 games this weekend against Texas Tech.
Hey, we got some bad blood there, Josh.
Especially Adam. All right, my second final headline is going to be hockey is back. The NHL is finally back in session.
I'll second that.
Anaheim Ducks, man, 2-0 start. What a great games they've had, especially from MVP goaltender so far, John Gibson. Listen to this stat, Adam. He has stopped 72 of 74 shots.
Absolutely impressive. And I mean, for you all out, I know I've got a lot of people that like to tune in the show out in Colorado. How about McKinnon out there? He's coming out playing like the player that we all thought he was, just beating up on the Wild in that first game. So, I mean, the Avalanche looks solid as well. This is the great part about hockey. Nobody knows who anybody is,
yes,
but it's back.
It's well too early to decide anything right now, because look at what happened. The Capitals destroyed.
Well, San Jose was supposed to be the number 2 team in the league.
And got destroyed by a bunch of rookies.
Yep.
You just never know, because the Washington Capitals destroyed the Boston Bruins, and then the next night they go into overtime and lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins. You just never know with hockey. I love this sport.
Transcend wins.
You can't. It's 2 games into the season. You can't tell, this team's going to the Stanley Cup playoffs. This team's going to be a contender. It's just way too early right now.
All you know is that Alex Ovechkin will be drinking in the offseason. Yes. That is the only thing guaranteed in NHL hockey.
I love the Ducks, the way they played. They got young kids. They're rookies. Even Ryan Getzlaf, the captain, which hope he's okay. He suffered a little groin injury yesterday, so I hope he's all right. But he was just saying it's amazing that he doesn't have to carry the workload anymore. He could hand it off to these kids, and that's the one thing I like about rookies in the NHL. They work hard. They work for it. Yes, over time they'll get used to and comfortable with the NHL, but they put their heart and soul into it, and it's the goal. The rookie Max Komatos that got the goal for us last night against the Coyotes. 2 goals in 2 games, and he's a rookie. Like, never playing in the NHL before, and just showing that these young kids, they're getting better. We have 2 18-year-olds, Adam, 18 years old on the Anaheim Ducks, and they're killing it.
You don't need a diploma. You don't need teeth. All you need is some
hockey skills.
There you go.
All right.
Guys, it's been a fun one. I still love you, Josh, even after this game. I don't know if you're going to love me after standing on that street corner next week.
Well, okay, so he dogged my Broncos today. He dogged my coaching skills in flag football today. Should I love him? That'll be the fan poll question of the day. Should I forgive Adam for his nasty gangrene?
I don't care. We got the W. That's all that matters.
All right, guys.
It was fun, guys.
Well, make sure you guys head over to see that little subscribe button that's on your page there. There's a little bell next to it. Make sure you hit that button, because it'll give you a notification every time that we're live.
We're going to be working down the road on getting some more midweek content, things like that. Especially with Josh being out there on the street corner, we'll definitely get that on there.
Make me sound like I'm a hooker, man. You're going to be out there on the street corner? Yeah, that's how you're making me sound right now. I hate you.
Josh.
What?
We don't talk about hookers on ABQ Sports Group.
We could talk about the Jets offense because they're hookers. Anyway,
Josh.
My head hurts there.
Guys, it's been a fun show. We look forward to seeing you next week. Go enjoy the rest of Sunday Night Football. Thanks for your participation. We'll see you all next week.
All right, Elijah will be back next week, guys. Take care. We'll see you next week. Hooker.